the checkbox for multi-factor authentication for
Correct.
that particular user, then it enables that, right?
Correct. So should we do it now?
Yeah.
Okay. So let's go ahead and work on multi-factor authentication. Let's close this and go back to the user section, not here, where you see a whole bunch of users. On the top, you have multi-factor authentication.
Right.
Okay, now it takes you to a new page. The multi-factor authentication is where you have multiple forms of authentication. Now, number one that we have always been using traditionally is the password-based authentication. So you type in the username and the password. So if the authentication is right, you have typed in the credentials correctly, it will give you access to the resources. That's always one form. But there is always a challenge that somebody who knows the user ID and password can then access your resources. So what we usually do is set up another form of authentication. Although it may not be important, but let's try to understand what is multi-factor authentication. We know by definition that it is using multiple forms of authentication, but what are the various forms? We know that there is a password, we know there is a number or a digit or an OTP that we say, or maybe a card as well, a smart card reader, right? Or maybe biometrics, or maybe gestures, right? Or maybe based on geographical location you are getting authenticated. So there are actually 5 forms of authentication available today. Number one is something that we know, something that we remember, that is something that we know, right? Examples are passwords. Pin numbers, they are something that we know. Second one is something that we have, like an RSA token, or um, a card, a smart card. These are something that we have. Third one is something that we ourselves are. Our traits are so unique that even two twins may not have the same kind of traits. Although their DNAs are same, but the fingerprints will still be different. So the different forms of biometrics out there, like you got fingerprint, which is the most famous one, and now after the Aadhaar card, biometrics has become so famous. Everybody knows about it, like retina scan, fingerprint, um, the way we walk. Now they divide that up into behavioral and physiological. Physiological is our body traits, and behavioral is the way we do it. Do things like typing on the keyboard is a behavioral form of biometrics. And certain colleges have actually implemented behavioral biometrics based on keystrokes. Uh, there are always challenges out there. But that is the third one, which is something that we are. Fourth one is based on your geographical location. So based on your geographical location, you get authenticated. So in India, we have this option in YouTube called as um, offline download. So you can go to your phone and then open up the YouTube app and then download whatever videos that you're allowed to download, and then you will be able to access those videos without internet. Well, when you take that same device to another country, you will not be able to access those videos because they will be simply struck off. WhatsApp calling was not allowed all these days in the Middle East or UAE. Google has been blocked in China. So based on geographical location, you will be accessed or allowed to access certain resources or not, right? That is fourth form of authentication. Fifth form is where um, is totally behavioral, based on our movements. You may get authenticated. You wave your hand or blink your eyes. Uh, that is also a behavioral, or that is something that we do, right? So you got 5 forms of authentication there. Number one, just to recap, something that we know. Third one, something that we have. Third one is something that we are. Fourth one, somewhere we are. And fifth one is something that you do. Now here, Microsoft has incorporated just 2 of them, which is something that we know is a password, and the second one is something that we have as like a mobile phone where you get a text or a call, right? So it's protecting your identity. So you know that the root user account is actually a king to the kingdom. The password is the keys to the kingdom. So somebody who has user ID and password will be having access to your entire infrastructure. Traditionally, if you take a step back and look at our infrastructure in our traditional environment, or somebody needs to get into your office physically, then get into the data center, and then do certain activities to physically access your infrastructure. But today's world, in the advent of cloud computing, everything is then accessed with the user ID and password. So it's very important to secure your infrastructure with user ID, password, and then incorporating multi-factor authentication. Right? So we got a whole set of users, and these set of users have been synchronized from Azure, sorry, your on-premise Active Directory. So the list that we see here is that they're not created on Azure, they're created in Active Directory on-premise. Now let's set up multi-factor authentication with them so that next time they try to access resources or applications, they will be forced not only to use the password, but also a message that they get on their phone or a call that they will get on the phone itself, right? So let's select one of these users, and hopefully you know their passwords. Let's select some of them. Yeah, just one. And then on the right side, as soon as you select one user, you will see enable button.
Yes.
All right, let's click on enable, and that's it. MFA is enabled for the user, right? Yeah, click on enable MFA.
Done.
Awesome. Okay, let's go ahead and see how that works. Okay, let's open this browser in incognito mode or in private mode, since you're using IE in private mode, so that we do not
Uh,
have the cache.
th-
So this
this
is
is on Mozilla,
awesome.
and I'm opening Edge.
That works. That works. So let's pick up the user account for which the MFA is enabled. Let's try to log in with that user and see what we get. Okay. So it's not your domain name. It is on Microsoft.com. Remember the whole thing.
The whole thing, it's post migration, right? Okay.
Correct.
Your admin has required that you set up this account for additional security verification.
That is awesome English out there. They do not use the words like MFA, multi-factor authentication, that will scare away the users, right? Somebody is from sales or
Right.
HR, they'll think, oh my god, what's going on? Multi-factor authentication. So simple word like the additional security verification sounds so good there. Okay, set it up now. So now it will ask you for what kind of authentication would you like a mobile phone or office phone or in a mobile app, right? The drop down menu there, authentication phone.
Yeah.
Right, you got Office phone and a mobile app or an authentication
Okay.
phone. Now, if you select Office phone, everything will be grayed out because this is an attribute that is picked up from Active Directory. In Active
Okay.
Directory, you must have set up that attribute. That attribute syncs here, and then you can use MFA for this user on Office phone.
Okay.
Mobile app is something that we need to download, which we don't have right now. So let's go and choose the first one, which is authentication phone. Mobile app now, first one. Correct. And then you can put your number and the country. Right. Okay. You got a code on your phone.
Yes.
Okay.
Verify.
Awesome. Done.
Done.
So he's got into portal.azure.com, but he will not have access to any resources, right? I'm sure you'll have two virtual machines running. Let's click on virtual machines to see what he gets. Nothing, right? Because he does not have permission
Nothing.
to
It's
see it.
all right.
So let's make him a virtual machine admin. Okay.
Okay. Go back to the portal.
Go back to the portal and then go to the virtual machines section. Okay. Let's click on a VM.
All right.
And there is a section called as IAM, third from the top. Now let's click on add. Okay. In the drop down menu, you can select a role for this user. What do you want him to do? You want him to become an owner or a contributor to just read access or a reader, right? Let's make him an owner.
Okay.
Let's make an owner of the VM.
Owner. Okay.
So he will be like having full access. And then select your
Mm-hmm.
username. There you go. And select it, then click on save. You can add multiple users like that. Now you can switch the
Okay.
screen. Go back to the user login and refresh it. Okay, doesn't work.
Okay. I need to log off and log in.
Let's try. That's great. So this is called as role-based access controls. Now we gave permissions to a user. Usually we give it to the groups and then
Mm-hmm.
add users to the groups. Groups can be created in Azure AD.
Okay.
Does that make sense? The whole story of MFA and role-based access controls?
Yes. And if I leave this second user logged in, will this also count under the chargeable?
No, no. The charges are not per user. Charges are for the resources.
Okay.
Okay. All right, great. Let's go back to Azure Ready. All right. Okay. So what do we got here? Users groups. Let's click on enterprise applications and publish some of these applications for these users. Enterprise
Okay.
applications is the whole idea of synchronizing our user accounts to the cloud was so that these users can access the cloud-based applications, right? Let's click on all applications. Then you'll say, yeah, new application. Then you'll see a whole lot of applications here, thousands of applications, right? Let's click on all,
Mm.
and that will show you the marketplace, right?
Right.
So there's a whole lot of applications here, hundreds and thousands of applications. Let's click on the
Mm-hmm.
first one called box. Let's publish this to the user. Say okay, add it. Okay, good. Let's close it. We close this as well.
It's still adding.
Yeah, it's okay. Let's close this.
Okay.
Okay, you should be able to see the application here.
Right.
Awesome.
So now,
Um, you don't see it? Can we close it? You're trying again. Okay, okay. Yeah, there you go.
yeah.
Let's click on box,
Mm-hmm.
and there is an option called as users and groups. Right now, there are no users who have box application published to them.
Okay.
So we're just trying to see how we can integrate this with Azure Active Directory. Let's click on add user and then add the user.
All right.
Yeah, select. Awesome, right? Assign.
No need to define any roles.
Now, you don't want to make him an admin. If you want to make him an admin, you do that.
Okay. Right. We have added this guy.
Great. Now we are inside the box app. If you would like to have a single sign-on, then you have to set up a single sign-on for this user. This app is already published
Mm-hmm.
to this user now. Okay. Can we go back to
Okay.
the IE, and open a new tab and
Uh-huh.
say myapps.microsoft.com. Yeah, and then sign in with him.
Log in with this.
Yes, please. Okay. You should be able to see the option box here. Just give it some time and you should be able to see the box app here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So that's how you
Yeah.
publish applications to the users. It's just published, but single sign-on is not done yet, right? So let's go back to the browser, the Firefox browser, and then click on single sign-on. By default, single sign-on is disabled for this user or for this app. Single sign-on
Okay.
mode will be disabled. AD single sign-on disabled. Now, when you click on the drop-down, you will have options. How do you want the single sign-on to happen? Do you want SAML-based sign-on, or password-based sign-on, or linked-based sign-on? So based on these, you may have to set up. So from here onwards, you may have to look at the documentation, the product-based documentation. Like Box will have documentation, ServiceNow will have its own documentation, then Dropbox will have its own documentation. Hundreds of collaboration tools, they will have their own documentation as to how do you set this up. Click on each one of these and take a look around what fields do we have, right? So you have to set up the single sign-on URL that is called as a landing page. So when they click on that icon, the box icon, what should happen? Where should it go to? Is what it says. That's a single sign-on URL. Should they log in with UPN or should they log in with SAM account name? Those are the options there. The certificate is already in place. The landing page is the landing page. Right? So you're creating a landing page, and that will have coding done for the users.
Mhm.
Okay, so that is usually product-based documentation. Every product will have its own set of options to follow. Most of them will have the same thing, same set of options. Some of them do deviate. Okay, let's close this.
We are not enabling anything.
No, because we need certificates, we need a
Okay.
landing page. That means we need to have um, skill sets to create a web page.
Okay. But this says link to an application in the Azure AD directory access panel, right? So
Mhm.
this does not take the box is already on Azure, right?
Right, Box is there in its own SaaS. It's its own platform as sorry software as a service. But then we need to create a landing page as to how the users will log in. So when they click on the box icon,
Oh,
where should it redirect to?
right. Right, got it. Custom page
The
the
custom page
teams will
with
design
their
for the
own logo.
organizations.
Yeah,
Right.
awesome. Okay, let's close this also. You got the audit logs and sign-ins. Right. Okay.
Just refreshing that.
hmm I've seen that it takes time. We sign out and sign in a couple of times. That's when we get it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, let's close this as well. Another thing that I want to talk about is branding. So if you scroll down to the bottom, there's something called as company branding out there. Right there, yeah, company branding.
Yes.
Yeah, so if you'd like to put your own logo, people log in and they should be able to see your own logo. That's when you do company branding. So you can, yeah, click on get free premium trial. You get 1 month free, I think 60 days free premium trial. Yeah, click on free
Okay.
trial and enable that, the first one. Activate. All right, this takes some time.
Done.
Yeah, it's done, but it will take some time to populate. Close it. Close it.
Okay.
And then click on, uh, just refresh the page. Mm, right? It still says get free premium trial.
All right. It takes some time, I think.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. To show up here. Now look in the security, Azure AD security. You got conditional access, and then place where you can track the user's login. Right in the bottom, security conditional access, users flagged for risks.
Right.
So you're actually protecting the identities. So detecting the potential vulnerabilities, you can configure automated response.
Mm-hmm.
Again, all of this is valid in the premium free trial. Right now, we do not have any users. So this will happen when users flag for risk. This will happen when Azure detects that people with a single user ID is logging on with multiple IP addresses. That's a problem, right? and a single user ID is logged in with multiple IP addresses, that means his user account is probably hacked. So those are the things that will be flagged here. No, user, location, sign in time, status. You'll have an activity log of all sign-ins in the click on sign-ins and active audit logs. Okay,
Okay,
is that audit logs? It doesn't show anything. Okay.
maybe we have to run a query.
No, it did run the query when we initially mounted it.
Okay,
And it is 7 days, right? We did not cross more than 7 days.
yeah.
What's going on with branding? Hmm.
Branding is still taking time. Okay, while this come up, I will ask you one question.
Yeah.
I see here, after getting these VMs created with the ARM template, both of these has the same IP address.
Yeah.
These two are different
Right.
different machines, right? I see both has the same IP, but as we have given different port numbers for
Right.
RDP,
Right.
changing the port, we are getting into that.
Correct.
Why the IP is same for
It
two
is defined
DCs?
in the script. It is defined
Load
in the script
balancer.
because they are going behind the load balancer in the NAT rules.
Okay,
That's
so actual machines will have different IPs.
yes, yes. Actual machines will
This is just okay. This is a NATed IP, right?
correct. Correct.
Okay, right.
So if you try enabling the branding one more time or the premium trial one more time, it may say it's already failed.
Failed to activate.
Yeah.
You already activated this trial before,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Let's
It's
refresh the
taking
whole.
time to
Let,
populate.
let's do F5. Let's do a full browser refresh.
Yeah.
Now that's a joke. Mhm. Can you click
Wait
on
to see.
notification settings there? Okay. Maybe sign out and sign back in the user.
This guy is also not getting.
Right, right. Okay, wait a minute and it will redirect. myapps.microsoft.com. No.
Uh, back to branding now.
Yeah, yeah. Can we sign out and sign back in for this user? The root admin.
Okay. We'll open a new page. Yes. Got some change here.
Right, right. Let's click on configure. Right now we gotta select your own branding. So let's go to new tab and download a small picture of company.
Okay.
Just put some. Let's put some company name over there. And click on images and look at the size it is looking for. Uh, Now let's go back to the Azure. Let's go back to the Azure thing. What is the dimensions?
Okay.
It needs certain dimensions there.
Size 1920 into 1080. Less than 300 KB. Did we lost Anand?
No, you did not lose me, man. I lost. I got a call, so just that. Okay, so that
Okay.
is looking for 19201080 pixel. Right. So let's go and see if we got something. 1920, right? Images. Something must be less than that. Okay. Yeah, you selected Walgreens, the big one. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I can see the dimensions here.
Okay. Yeah, that should be enough. 1600
Yeah, this is okay,
font.
right?
Mm.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And upload it there.
Browser here.
Yes, please.
Right.
Done. Okay. There are other things. Banner logo is there.
Mm-hmm.
Username hint. Sign in page. The advanced settings. Right. Let's save this and see how that works. How does that look? Done. Saved. Okay. It's saving.
Saving.
Okay. Good.
Done.
Let's go back to the other browser, IE, and sign out for that user, IE browser.
Okay.
Yeah, sign him out. And go to myapps.microsoft.com.
Oh, we got this.
Wow,
We got the logo.
that looks good. So it's customization for them.
Okay, it has taken this image after we selected the username.
Correct, because only then it will know which company to go to. Till that point, it was Microsoft website.
Okay, if I select different user, it won't. It's going for
The
all
entire domain.
users. Right, correct. The, it showed for the root admin and the selected user.
Yeah,
But if I select different user account, it didn't show up.
right, right. It will be for your domain, all the users in your domain.
Okay, right.
So that's personalization, pushing the or synchronizing user accounts from on-premise Active Directory to Azure Active Directory, using the tool to sync it up, pushing the applications, the enterprise-wide applications to the users, and see looking at the options where you can do single sign-on. And then we looked at the security options and the risks that the user may pose when his user account is being hacked, probably hacked, and the user account may be used in say several locations around the world. So you will be able to flag that activity in the user flag for risk section. We did MFA, multi-factor authentication, and company branding. There's a whole lot of other options as well where you can do MDM and MAM, mobile device management for the users, for bring your own devices policies. So you'll be using AirWatch, or there are a lot of MDM devices or applications. They click on MDM and MAM is like mobility.
Yes.
Yeah. So you can bring in AirWatch, Sitecore.
Mhm.
There's nothing.
Nothing. It's taking time. It's
Okay.
coming up now.
Right. Now let's click on add.
Add application.
So true. So you'll see all the most of them that have registered with Microsoft, the ones that I was talking about. Yeah, you got Zen Mobile. Where is AirWatch? AirWatch is there. Then, on-premise Mobile Iron is there. Microsoft Intune, those services are there. Then you will be able to manage the mobile devices for the users to erase them, track the mobiles, encrypt the hard disks on the mobiles. Those again, you know what MDM will do, right? So this is for the users
Yes.
in the cloud. It's a one-stop shop now.
Right.
So that was Azure Active Directory conclusion. So okay, what are the services that we did so far? We did with VPC, subnets, virtual machines, web apps. We did load balancers. I'm just making a note of it so that you know where we were. Load balancers. Then we did traffic manager, right? Manager. Then we did SQL SQL, DBA. Then Azure Active Directory, right? These are the certain things that we did. Yeah, traffic manager. Oh, we did storage as well. Storage, where we learned about blob storage, table storage, file storage, and queue storage. Okay. In the storage section, did we learn about storage account? There was some third-party tool that we were referring to. Storage Explorer.
Explorer.
Storage Explorer. Yeah, Storage Explorer. Um, there was one more as well. Cloudberry.
What is that? Cloud?
Cloudberry.
Okay.
Cloudberry. That's a third party tool that will help you synchronize between on premise and the cloud, take backups out there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so let's. move forward with certain other things. I'm just making note of that. We'll do OMS, right? OMS, which is monitoring systems. How do you monitor your environment? And then we also got to do something related with um, runbooks, runbooks, desired state configuration, desired state configuration. What else? Uh, can we click on? Yeah. Can you expand the screen? I just want to make sure that we are covering a lot of services or as many services as possible. Expand. Click on the three lines. Awesome. Resource groups. Advisor. We'll do advisor as well. Advisor. We'll also learn about simple store or store simple. Store simple. Although we cannot do practicals on store simple because that's a hardware device, but then I'll tell you what that is because people ask me in the interviews. Okay. So let's scroll down further, please.
Store simple.
Store simple. Yeah, store simple.
Okay.
Oh yeah, we did networks. How can I forget? Site to site VPN. Site to site, point to site, and express route. We understood express route, and then yeah, we did point to site, and we also did VNet to VNet, right?
VNet peering.
VNet peering. Yeah. Oh,
Are we doing CDN?
yeah. I'll make a note of that. CDN profiles. We didn't do that, right?
We didn't do that.
Okay, let's scroll down. Storage, data lake store, store simple. Recovery services vault. This is my favorite. Disaster recovery. Will do. That's recovery services vault. Okay. Guys, I may have to disconnect the meeting. I have a call right now. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you so much. I'll
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you.
consolidated list and update you. Thank you. Bye.
Okay. Thank you.